You intro it.
All right, guys, so in this video, we are going to be ranking the top healthiest versus unhealthiest habits when it comes to your health and your hormones and your longevity. So we're gonna be ranking them from least important to most important, and I'm gonna be doing the best habits for your health, and he's going to be doing the worst habits for your health. So to start us off, you got us here. Let's go.
Worst habits. Number 4 is going to be bad sleep. You know, I was just talking to one of my clients about this at dinner, and he said like one of his bad habits, he thinks he's good in every atmosphere except sleep. And I agree, like that's kind of where I fall short sometimes, is sleep, just going to bed late, waking up late, you know, not getting enough sleep. That is on a whole nother level. You need to make sure you're prioritizing your sleep, because the way you sleep is going to dictate how you feel the next day. And I know so many people talk to me and they say, oh bro, my sleep is bad. Oh my gosh, like I don't have any routines in place. You know, I'm getting like 6.5 hours. Even, you know, people will tell me, oh, your diet's good. And then they say they're getting 6 hours of sleep. It's like, bro, that's where you produce all your testosterone. That's where you optimize your hormones. You need to make sure that you're getting at least 8 hours of sleep and that it's high quality. And the best way to tell that is by dreaming. You got to make sure that you're having good dreams.
Yes, 1000%. I mean, I think when we were in college, we would stay up until like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. every night. I think sophomore year we did this, and we would always have to take naps. And our test was lower, our physiques were worse, we had more brain fog. You know, I think it's easy for most Americans or people in general who have phones and laptops to just stay up watching shit, scrolling, YouTube, Netflix, all these things at nighttime. And it's like, bro, you have all the entertainment in the world at the touch of your fingertips. Yeah. And you can just sit there in your nice, soft bed with air conditioning like a fucking king. And it's like so entertaining, but at the same time, it's so bad for your health. You are not meant to be looking at blue light on a screen at night. And there's so many things that mess up your sleep, but you need to be getting 8 hours of sleep as close to the sunset and the sunrise as possible. And for my best habit, I'm gonna say walking. I think so many people wonder why they're fat, but they don't do any walking at all. It's like all the animals in nature walk all day long. They're hunting for food, they're walking to travel, they're flying around. And that's why they're all shredded and there's zero fat animals. There's zero fat animals, and that's because they're walking all day. Obviously, in 2025, most people work computer jobs, desk jobs, jobs where you're driving or sitting down. And it's hard to be active and walk a lot, but I think if you make it a habit and a priority, it's easy. Like I walk in the morning, after lunch, and at night. I do 3 big walks a day, and I can get in 15 to 20K steps a day, and that's why I'm shredded. But if you just don't make the time to do it, it's so easy. Oh, I'm gonna watch the show. Oh, I'm gonna go hang out with my boys. Oh, I have to do this extra work thing. You don't get it in, and then it just makes you fat pretty damn quick.
Yeah, I mean, we just recently adapted that. Like, I think a year ago, we weren't really walking that much, but now that we're on the walking ground every single day, it's just a good habit to have in place, not only to clear your mind, but to get more shredded. So number 3 on the worst habits, I'm gonna go with dopamine fiend. I think that's one of the worst habits you could have, especially, you know, when you wake up in the morning and you look at your phone, or maybe you're doing work and you're continuously looking at your phone. You know, I was just in the Uber, and the Uber driver was consistently like opening up his text messages, driving. Like it was sketchy because he's literally driving, but he's also dopamine fiending. Like you have to have control over your dopamine if you want to be successful in life and want to have optimal focus. And success comes with being focused. And that's why so many people, they don't see the progress that they want in life. It's because they're dopamine fiends. They're always distracted. They can never focus on something because they're always looking for that short-term pleasure. So you have to eliminate being a dopamine fiend. That's, you know, with food, with the internet, with anything in life. You gotta control your dopamine, because it is one of the worst habits that can take over you as a person.
1000%. I think phone, music, and food are the top 3 that people probably do. Because, yeah, as he said, so many people always are checking their texts. Like, for what, bro? For what? A bomb's not gonna explode. You're not texting about anything important. You're texting about bullshit. You're scrolling for no reason. It's like
it's funny. Like I'll be in the grocery store and I'll see people with like headphones on and earbuds on. I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're in the grocery store and you're still a dopamine feed. Like, you can't just not have dopamine in your life for literally 20 minutes while you're shopping at the grocery store. Like, it doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, like I see kids playing basketball or like at the rec center, like my gym. And there's like a rec center I go to in my hometown back in Pennsylvania. And there's like, you know, couches, lounge areas, places with like tables to do work. And kids will just be like sitting there with an AirPod and just like looking at their phone like, bro, you should be lifting or playing basketball. Okay, lifting, you can listen to music because it's like you're lifting. But basketball, kids are on the fucking basketball court with like one AirPod. And it's like, just take the fucking music out, bro. Take the fucking music out. Like, you know, scrolling, watching shit. Oh my gosh, bro. Anything that makes you feel good is dopamine, and you should never waste it on something that's pointless. Music is pointless. I try to limit that. Scrolling's pointless. Unless you're actually trying to better yourself, don't fucking waste your time doing it.
Yeah.
But for my next best habit, I'm gonna make it a little bit unique. I'm gonna say nose breathing. Because I feel like once I started nose breathing all the time, I never really get sick anymore.
Yeah.
Because your nose hairs are the natural air filter that filter out all bacteria. You know, you get boogers, that's all the bullshit in the air that if you were mouth breathing, it would go right in your lungs and you get sick, you get a sore throat, you get a lung-related illness. But I think there's so many benefits to nose breathing. It prevents sleep apnea. It also will give you a better jawline. If you mouth breathe, your jawline disappears and it like will make your teeth crooked. If you have kids right now and you don't want them to get braces, you don't want to waste money on buying your kids braces, tell them to fucking nose breathe and make sure they're nose breathing while they're sleeping and throughout the entire day, and they won't need braces. I literally had to get braces because I was a mouth breather, and no one fucking told me, and I had no fucking clue. But this is a huge one to not get sick, to have a good jawline, and to not get braces.
Yeah, it's gonna make you way more looks max. It's gonna make you healthier. It's gonna make your sleep way better. That humans are meant to nose breathe. Even when I'm lifting, sometimes I'll catch myself mouth breathing, and I'll have to tell myself, "Oh, keep nose breathing," because that gets more oxygen back into my muscles. So you gotta make sure that you're nose breathing. For my number 2 worst habits, I'm gonna have to go with unawareness with food. I feel like that's like one of the worst habits you can develop as a person. I think so many people nowadays, they just have so much unawareness with the food that they're eating and just health in general. You know, they'll put colognes on themselves, or, you know, they'll wake up in the morning and they'll eat like a piece of bread and like drink some juice and like just have all this like lack of information, and that's why they feel like shit. If you go and, you know, even if you go in the grocery store and you get these foods and you don't even look at the ingredients list, it's like, bro, you're so unaware of any action that you do in life. You're just setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, you guys will nerd out about TV shows and celebrities. Oh, Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Oh, my older brother, he watches anime. It's like, you don't even know about nutrition. If you spend your time understanding nutrition and how your body works, what foods are healthy, what's unhealthy, what are these ingredients? Like, he shoves his face with bullshit food all day and he's a soy boy. It's like, if you spent all the time that you spend on video games and fucking Netflix nerding out about nutrition, you would be jacked. You would have high energy. You would have high testosterone. It's like, why the fuck do you waste your time worrying about anything else besides like bettering yourself? It makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, it's your body. Your body is your number one asset. Once you die, nothing fucking matters. Your fucking TV show doesn't matter. Your sports brand doesn't matter. Once you're dead, it doesn't matter. So why not maximize the amount of time that you have on fucking earth? Makes no fucking sense. And I'm gonna say for mine, self-criticism. I was gonna say self-improvement, that's kind of cheesy. Self-criticism is the way to become perfect. Obviously, you know, Jesus was the only perfect human, but we should all strive to be like Jesus. And I feel like the more self-critical you are, the faster you'll excel. Like, when I first started making videos, I always give this example. I thought my videos were great, I thought they were good, and they would get 10 likes, 200 views on Instagram on my reels. And I was like, why are they doing good? I thought these are great. But then when I finally kept criticizing them, like, damn, you know, I look a little bit, you know, skinny, fat, and pale. My tonality's bad. The hook's bad. The audio's bad. Once I was more and more critical, the videos did better. You know, when I thought my physique was good, but it wasn't, I got no girls, no dudes respecting me, then I was more critical. Oh, you're not shredded enough. You're not jacked enough. You're not high test enough. And then I got the girls. Then I got the respect that I want. It's like, the more critical you are of yourself, and the more flaws that you can identify in yourself, the higher quality of a human you will be. 1000%.
Yeah. 100%. You gotta analyze your life every single day and find the errors that you're making, because if you are so prideful in yourself, you'll never establish those errors and you'll just continue to do the wrong shit or be the same, and that's why you won't make progress. So you gotta make sure that you're self-critical. And number one for me, I think this is obvious, it's gonna be drinking.
Yeah.
I think drinking is just the worst habit you can do. You know, I know people in Miami, I know millionaires, you know, they're doing drugs, they're going to the strip club, you know, they're doing all these bad habits, but at the end of the day, they're still not drinking. You know, they're doing drugs, they're doing all these distractions, but they're still not drinking. Why are they not drinking? Because everyone knows that drinking will hold them back the most.
Yeah.
And that's what we learned the hard way. You know, when we were in school, we were drinking all the time, and you thought, oh, you know, we can still make progress while drinking. Like, it doesn't really hold you back. And, you know, there are some people that do succeed while drinking, but I noticed that every person that I know that doesn't drink, they're way more successful than someone who does drink.
Mm-hmm.
It's the biggest habit holding you back. If you want to go to the next level and you actually want to become the best version of yourself, you have to cut out the drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are no pros, there are only cons. When you weigh out every single decision you do, you need to weigh out the pros and the cons. And when you weigh out something like this, and there's no pros, there's no reason to do it. And that's why it's number one as the worst habit, because I think a lot of people, they don't think about the pros and cons, and they just do it because it's fun, or, you know, maybe they've had a long week or a long day and they drink. Bro, it's holding you back.
Mm-hmm.
It's holding you back from becoming the best version.
It comes down to that example where they say, oh, would you take $10 million today but die tomorrow, or just have no money and just keep living? It's like, obviously you wouldn't take $10 million and die tomorrow. So basically, you know, one more day is worth more than $10 million. So if you know this takes years and days off the end of your fucking life, you're basically throwing tens of millions of dollars down the drain. It's like, it makes no fucking sense. It makes no fucking sense. Why the fuck would you drink? It's pretty pointless. I don't know, if you don't value your life, you don't self-respect, it's like, can you not have fun without drinking? I hate drinking.
And it's like, you gotta think of it like this. Oh, you know, every single drink that you have, you're basically like subtracting like maybe like 2 months off your lifespan.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's literally what it does. You know, it just destroys your liver and it shortens your lifespan. So
Yeah.
it's literally the worst habit, because the more you drink, the shorter your lifespan becomes. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's pretty scary to see people just throw their lives away through drinking, and it's kind of sad, but, you know, it's just normalized and it sucks. But I'm gonna say my number one is just working. I know self-improvement's kind of cheesy, I'm gonna say working. Because if you're just consuming all of your time or spending all of your time working, you're gonna be...
I would say working on yourself. Because I think there's people who think working is good, but then they'll be stuck in the same spot for years. You know, you can work hard every single day at freaking Staples or Office Max,
Mm-hmm.
right? That doesn't mean that's the best habit for you. The best habit is going to be working on yourself, you know, through your fitness, through learning skills. When you actually work on yourself through the knowledge that you create and apply that every single day to become a better version of yourself, that's when it becomes the best habit.
Yeah, I meant working as in like working on things that are just gonna better yourself and your others. Like, you know, making money, working on your physique, working on your mindset, like working on not just a job. I didn't mean that, I meant like everything. Because I feel like so many people just avoid work. Like, oh, I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to eat clean. I don't want to do this and that. That's how I used to be when I was low test. It's like when you have low testosterone, you want to be like a woman. Women are meant to work because they're low testosterone, and you know that's how I was when I was a soy boy. But if you're high test, working becomes fun. Like achieving things becomes fun. That's why like all the greatest, you know, conquerors and warlords were always high test. Like, oh, I'm gonna conquer new lands. It's like the same thing. Like, oh, I'm gonna conquer building an online business. I'm gonna conquer getting a 10 out of 10 girlfriend. I'm gonna conquer fucking, you know, becoming insanely high IQ and smart and, you know, good at speaking. It's like when you just fall in love with working, you know, you're just maximizing your time on earth, and that's what God's gonna reward the most. When He sees you working and trying your hardest and not having any vices, not sinning, He's gonna reward you and give you what you need 1,000%. 1,000%. If you're spending every hour of your day working, things will work out for you, bro. But when you're scrolling an hour a day, when you're beating off 30 minutes a day, when you're just sitting watching Netflix for 2 hours a day, it's like, do you deserve success? Do you deserve all these things you want? Probably not. Probably not. So learn to get your test up, and then you'll love working.
Oh yeah, simple as that.
Working and walking, guys. Basically the same fucking thing, right?
Oh yeah. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much the video. If you guys are looking for one-on-one coaching, Check out the links in the description.
Mm-hmm.
And we will see you guys in the next video.
Yes, sir.
So what should the